Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Winokowski, and I'm joined today by Mr. Jacob Lehman of 2.5 Hoopers. Jacob, how you doing today?
Pretty good, just kicking it. No pod for 2.5 Hoopers today, so I had to hop on this. I was itching for a net basketball fix.
Yes, yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, me and Lehman are rocking the matching Sabonis jerseys. That was part of a All-Star weekend. Me and him had him winning the skills competition, and before the final round, I said if Sabonis won, I'd get us Sabonis jerseys, and here we are now with Sabonis jerseys on.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. You make a bet and you win it, and you buy me a jersey. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah, good guy Josh Nowakowski over here.
Yeah, I gotta we gotta give some respect to Sabonis
and some respect to DHgate.
Yes, sir, DHgate baby, yes, sir. But yeah, so Jacob was itching for a basketball episode, so I'm kind of going to change my format of how I do podcasts. It's going to be recaps, basically, on Fridays and Saturdays when I record. So I'm going to go over a couple of sports on Friday, a couple of sports Saturday. So today is going to be NBA, and tomorrow is going to be NFL and MLB recap. So, but today we got some NBA going on. Actually, first, since it was this week, let's go all the way back to Monday, the NCAA championship game. Baylor made Gonzaga look silly on the court. It looked like a G League team facing an NBA team in that game. Baylor dominated and took home the natty. Jacob, did you watch? How much of this game did you watch?
I caught a little bit. George and you are kind of the NCAA fanatics there. I did have Zaga win everything just because it was kind of, the cliche pick, and I like, Timmy's cool facial hair. But, I mean, besides that, you're not going to get a lot out of me, but I could definitely add some insight if you're going to recap it.
Okay, I just wanted to know if you watched. I mean, I watched some of it. I actually didn't get to watch a lot of it. Once I saw Baylor got ahead early, I kind of knew the way Gonzaga played, and they're not built to come back. That's just not the way their team is built. But I guess one question for you is, Drew Timme, I don't want to say he got exposed, but he kind of did this game. I just want to know, what do you think that did to his draft stock? And do you think his game can translate into the NBA at an elite level?
I think, every, good white college star who stays like 4 years, their ceiling's only so high in the NBA just because they stayed for 4 years because, they're really good with their feet. They got good fundamentals, which is the most cliche thing you can say. But it's kind of like a Grayson Allen thing where, like, he was great in college, and then he'll find a role somewhere. It's kind of like Dante DiVincenzo for the Bucks. He'll be a solid role player, but his lateral quickness definitely got exposed, and then the fact that he doesn't have too many go-to moves on offense, because that Zaga offense ran like a well-oiled machine, and then Baylor, they got in that zone, and
yeah, seriously, yeah. I think his game will hopefully it can translate to be a good, maybe bench NBA player. I don't know starting in this league because his game isn't really fit for today's NBA. But I hope his game translates. I like him as a player. Hopefully.
Do you know what where he's supposed to go? Like in mocks? Is he a second rounder or is he a late first?
So before March Madness, they had him as a late first, second round pick kind of guy. And then up until like the Final Four, they were like, oh, he could go top 20, top 15. And I'm like, no, like he's playing great at college, but no, he's not going to do that. I'm saying probably a second round pick is what you're looking like with him.
Early second?
Probably.
Maybe like a contender will snag him towards the end of the first, a fundamental guy that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully his game translates to the NBA. I like him as a player. But we'll get into the NBA news because this week was actually like a pretty packed week of NBA. Some actually good games. And, we got a good NBA drama as always every week, basically. But to start off, we'll talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Harden got injured on Monday, hurt a hamstring. He's being reevaluated. On Monday, it was 10 days. So what's that? On Wednesday, he'll be reevaluated for his hamstring. But Kevin Durant came back on Wednesday, so they just missed playing with each other. Yeah, they swapped, basically, is what happened there. So KD returned Wednesday versus the Pelicans, went 5 for 5 with 17 points in 18 minutes. My question to you, Lehman, is with all the injuries and all the time everyone's missed, are you worried about chemistry issues within the Brooklyn Nets?
So as far as chemistry goes, just from like a liking each other standpoint, I'm not. They seem to all like each other, and then it's looking. I mean, we can make all the narratives we want, but it looks like LaMarcus and Blake and DeAndre Jordan picking up those DNP coaches' decisions. They're all okay with their role in the team, so that's good. And then, but as far as like just chemistry on the court, like where they're gonna be, defensive rotation and all that stuff. I'm a little worried just because Harden was kind of like the engine that made that team run. Kyrie and Katie was taking time off for his injury, and then Kyrie was taking time off for his birthday, and Harden was playing, and that's how they're getting those wins there. And then Harden gets hurt, and Kyrie drops 40 in the Battle of New York. So they got the talent there, but I really do hope there's not, because I don't think it'll be a malicious thing where they're like, I want the ball, or the ball's better in my hands, like those three guys. But I think there may be a little bit miscommunication, like, okay, what play are we running here? Because we could score 3 different ways, but are we going to decide in time which way we're going to score?
Yeah. And also hey, I thought I was going to cut this way. You threw it the other. So those kind of miscues are. So yeah, I can see those as being minor issues with the Brooklyn Nets. I do have an ego thing, because when it first happened, like I look at it like you're in like a dating standpoint of, in the beginning, it's all great, it's all lovey-dovey, it's all amazing.
But the honeymoon stage.
Yes, the honeymoon stage. And then after, it's like, okay, what's going on now? And does someone get a big ego, or someone doesn't get a big ego? That's after the honeymoon stage is where like breakups per se happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you go.
So to kind of piggyback on that, yeah, as far as the honeymoon stage goes, they're still in it, because 2 things could like ruin the honeymoon stage. One is losing, and they refuse to do that. They refuse to lose. Mm-hmm. And then 2 is, what we're kind of talking about, the whole, you're going to cut here, the ball should be in my hands, all that stuff. And like Harden and Kyrie have coexisted, but Harden's still like, I mentioned this on my pod, like if he says he's the MVP, he's not sacrificing anything. Because sacrificing would be sitting in the corner while Katie and Kyrie go to work, or cutting off ball. And Harden and Kyrie don't cut off ball. Katie cuts off ball, but like those 2 guys are very ball centric. So we'll see, when they got all 3 of them, and then we got LaMarcus there, and then a few other guys in the starting lineup with them. We'll see then. Yeah, right now, I think they're still in the honeymoon phase. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think they are too. But I'm curious is when they get games together, the 3 of them, I could see that honeymoon stage dissolving super quickly with Harden's ego. And because all 3 of them do have a big ego, but I think Kyrie can sometimes put it to the side. I think KD, for the most part, puts it to the side. Harden, I have never seen put it to the side, and I don't think he ever will. So, like, my one concern with them is if Harden is going to be talking about, I'm the MVP, what I hear in that translation is, I want to take the last shot. I'm the man here. I'm the star. You 2 are below me. I kind of like, if it's a debate between us, I'm the one that gets the final say, kind of thing, which is a concern for me. Like I could see it happening in the playoffs where Harden's ego gets to him when he's having a 2 for 12 playoff shooting night from 3, and he won't give up the ball. That's where my concern is.
So maybe this is why they are my title favorite. I have them winning, because I don't really have that concern. I think their only thing is the play style, because they built the friendships with Harden and Katie in Oklahoma when Harden was 6 man, and they built the friendship with Kyrie just throughout the years with KD, and then Harden and Kyrie are kind of still pretty buddy. That might be a honeymoon phase, might just be they like each other. So there's no problems there. Only thing as far as that's why I think the ego side of the chemistry I think is okay, but then like I said with the basketball side of chemistry, cutting the being in the right spot, that's where I kind of get nervous about it, because they say Katie and Harden played in OKC. Harden was coming off the bench. He won 6 man of the year, but he's coming off the bench. It was a definite Katie is the guy. Katie will have the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago. That was before Harden was Harden. But yeah, and they could prove me wrong and be through the honeymoon stage through the whole playoffs. I don't know how realistic that is,
It's
but
unprecedented. Like they're gonna probably play about
yeah,
15 games together with that big three. 15.
yeah, yeah.
And they're also, I believe they're still bottom 5 in defense. So they got their fair share of issues.
They do, and yeah, and we'll talk about that more when the playoffs get closer. But not having them for the final month of the season, not having this big three to like, hey, let's figure out our chemistry straight for the playoffs. Because when I hear Harden's being reevaluated in 10 days, I think of it as the same thing kind of going on with Anthony Davis. He's going to be reevaluated, but is he going to come back? Like, is he practicing? Is he putting up any shots right now? Because if he's not going to come back on Wednesday.
And Harden's an Iron Man. Like that guy doesn't miss games. That's what scared me.
Yeah. That in it, and then are you gonna rush him back to get this chemistry thing going? And then you have a situation where he could be vulnerable to injury. So, yeah, hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, and hopefully he doesn't get re-injured. Because as much as I criticize Harden, like he's a great basketball player, and I have respect for him as much as I criticize him.
Yeah, this Nets team kind of turned into like a 1-year thing because of all the buyout candidates they got. Because they're going to obviously have KD, Harden, and Kyrie back next year. That has time to build growth. But like, I don't think Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are taking pay cuts again.
Nope.
Because they're not going to get a big contract. But they'll get like a Rondo type deal, like a 2 for 15, like just because they're going to show that they can sacrifice stuff.
Yeah,
so they might be gone next offseason.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll see what happens in Brooklyn. But moving over to the Western Conference, we had – so I'm going to ask you this. Suns Jazz Wednesday night, was that the best NBA game of the season?
I think I might still have to put the Cavs Nets game where Colin Sexton was going buck wild. But
that was a while ago.
This was definitely the best game in a while we've had, and it came right on cue on Tuesday night's or I guess Wednesday morning show. George was like, the national TV games are trash, like we can't, the product is garbage, fire Adam Silver. And I kind of agreed with him. But then on Wednesday we had a decent amount of close games, and we had like games where just like the Pacers scoring 141, so like the product's been a little better. But Suns Jazz was a very, very fun game. Yeah,
that was a very fun game. Devin Booker dropped 35 points, leading scorer. Chris Paul added 29 points, 9 assists. Donovan Mitchell dropped a 41-point bomb. And so you guys kind of took – I listened to your podcast today, and so I didn't send this in the group chat because I wanted to talk to you about it.
Oh, you want to catch me off guard, I see.
Yeah, exactly. You got to catch you off guard because you're always prepared for everything. So – Utah shot 25% from 3. Now, when George said that, he kind of took that as a negative, like, oh, they shot 25% from 3. I looked at it the other way. They shot 25% from 3 and almost won the game.
That's what I was trying to tell him.
Okay, so it's just okay. I guess I didn't hear that because George was probably talking too loud, as he does. And so I took it the other way. They almost beat the number 2 team in the West and a real contender while having a really bad shooting night. And I mean, the Suns shot bad as well, but like still, I thought that was an encouraging sign.
Well, so I actually mentioned it. You didn't get caught lacking. I mentioned it in the Jazz Blazers game from Thursday. So that's where I mentioned like they shot bad and they still pull up the W. But on our I fell into the Rudy Gobert slander too. I was like, oh, he's 7-2. Of course he's going to get blocks. Of course he's going to do this. The Jazz are top 3 in like just eye test defense-wise in the league. It's them, the Lakers, and you could put whatever you want in the third spot. Maybe the Sixers, maybe the Bucks. But maybe as far as them, maybe Miami too, yeah. But they shoot 25% here and push the Suns to overtime. Yes. And they made Devin Booker shoot. He had 35 points on 31 shots. They made Chris Paul take 24 shots, which he doesn't do a lot. No. So the one thing I could criticize them on defense is that the 1-on-1 matchup with Ayton versus Gobert, I didn't feel like they won as much as they should have. But as far as just their defense keeping them in the game, it was very impressive because Donovan Mitchell 4 for 12 from 3, Bogey 1 for 8. Like they were not hitting down there. Yeah,
I mean that would be. I mean that game intrigues me into what a series between those two would look like. Like, oh my gosh, I mean that would come at the cost of the Lakers not being because they'd have to meet in the conference finals.
If they're 1-2, they'd be in the conference.
Yeah. So, I mean, that'd come at the Lakers. But if I'm saying the Lakers don't make the conference finals, I want the Suns there. and that would be a great 7-game series. But yeah, I took it away as like, oh, they shot bad, but they almost beat the Suns, who are yeah. So okay, we're on the same page there. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page there, because I was kind of like, wait, they almost won the game shooting that bad. Like, if they shoot 28% or 30% from three, they win that game.
I mean, just another stat. They lost the rebound battle by 16 too.
Yep.
So like they stayed in this game just because they have that cohesiveness. And that's why they've been so good this year, is because they're bringing basically the same team back with this kind of short layover since last season.
Yeah. Yeah. So then the Suns, they had a back-to-back, and the game against the Clippers did not go as well for them. They lost that game by 10. I still thought that was a pretty good game, though. It was a fun watch. Rondo had a good game. Marcus Morris got ejected. Pat Bev got ejected. And the Clippers still prevailed. Paul George had a great game. I don't have the stats in front of me on how many points he had.
He had 33 on 12 for 19 shooting.
Yep, so you can expect a 2 for 15 coming in the next game or two.
Or not. Maybe he's back. I don't know.
Jacob, every time we say he's back, he hits one off the side of the backboard.
Okay, but this team that played the Suns can make the finals. They can. This team, right, with Paul George being their best offensive player, they can make the finals.
So yes, I agree with that. Can you? Sorry, because I have a new phone and nothing is signed in. So what was the points in the paint at the end of the game?
Let me check.
Because it was 32-16 Suns at halftime.
Does it say that on here? I don't think it does. I'm on the NBA app.
Big. Come on, NBA, step it up.
So I'll raise you this though. So we'll kind of shift to it. Clippers outscored the Suns 59-47 in the second half. So they also won the fourth quarter by 8, and they only won by 10. So it was a very close game going into the fourth. And we've kind of seen the Clippers we've kind of harped on them. Oh, they don't know how to close games. They just shoot jump shots. They're still shooting a lot of jump shots, but they were going in. So it was good to see there. You talk a little. I could try and find the points in the paint a little bit.
Okay, if you can, great. Just because. So yes, the Clippers team that showed up on Thursday can make it to the conference finals and possibly the NBA finals. But the big thing is that's why one of the points in the paint, because that's such a big issue for them. They settle for jump shots, and it was just, okay, tonight they were going in, but we've seen what happens when they don't go in. So it's really bad when their jump shots don't go in, and they can't attack the paint either, because that's just not the team that they are. So that's where, if the Clippers team that showed up on Thursday shows up in the playoffs, they have a very high ceiling, but it's going to be how reliant are they on making jump shots, because they have no real paint presence at all. Like, even when Kawhi drives, it's a kick out most of the time.
So unfortunately I can't find the points in the paint. I'm sure.
No worries.
Let's see how many So Suns took 24 threes and Clippers took 37. And Clippers hit 18 of 37 of their threes. So they won this game by jump shots.
Okay, hang on. I think I got it here, because, all right, I got the points in the paint here.
Okie dokie.
Points in the paint, Phoenix 54, Clippers 38. Okay, so they improved in the second half there. Okay, so I guess my jump shot thing is kind of off now. Okay. No worries. I just wanted to know that to make sure of that. But okay, so yeah, good one for the Clippers. The ceiling is high if they perform the way they did on Thursday.
I'll bring this up to you because it's something I've noticed. Do you think Clippers can win this way? Because just watching a little bit more basketball, Jazz settle for jumpers too. The Suns trying to avoid overtime, took a jump shot to win instead of driving. It's kind of just the league here. So do you think that that we criticize them a little too much as far as just settling for jumpers? Because what I was seeing is like they'd be driving, and then 5 minutes hits and they're too tired and they're shooting jumpers. But now it seems like throughout the whole game they're kind of sprinkling in these drives and then mostly jumpers.
Yeah, so I will say so with that. Yes, I think we do criticize them a little bit too much on their settling for jumpers. But my concern is, okay, that was 38 points in the paint. That's a good game for the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how consistent that has been. I I would need to look more into that. But like, if they face a team like, in my opinion, Denver or the Lakers, teams that are very good on defense and teams that get into the paint and get easy buckets, it can cause real issues for the Clippers if they're settling for jumpers and giving up layups on the other end.
So how do you feel about the Boogie signing for the Clips? Do you think that could help?
I don't know. I think it can help. I just don't know how much play time he's really going to get with this team, because the thing is, like, you got to look at everyone they've added, like the people that are already collecting DNPs. It just seems like there isn't really like this 10-day was just kind of like, hey, here's 10 days. It's not. I don't think he's going to get a second 10-day, and I don't think he's going to be on the playoff roster.
I'm comparing it to the Joakim Noah signing of them last year, which might be a little disrespectful, but that's where I kind of see it.
Yeah, except for, I guess, the only thing Boogie has that Noah doesn't is a jump shot, and he can shoot it. But like, I don't think the Clippers are looking for that, really. I really think the Clippers were looking for like an Andre Drummond type of player, which, I mean, if the Miami game last night, he was dominant. He was doing good in the paint. And, they're looking, I think we kind of talk about it in the group chat where Andre Drummond kind of collapses everything. The Clippers are looking for that collapse, which is so funny because like we took it as, oh, he collapses the paint. But it's like, the Clippers need someone to collapse the paint like that. Because Zubac is not a paint collapser type of guy.
They do still got Ibaka, so we'll wait on that. But he's not like as great as he used to be.
No, and the thing is, what I've seen from him is he likes to settle for jump shots now. When he used to get physical and get in the paint, he doesn't do that. He hits his 15-foot jump shot and he pivots 2 times and then he takes a jump shot. Like, I don't think Ibaka likes to bang anymore, which I can get with age and how long he's been doing it. I don't blame him. I think the Clippers were expecting him to be kind of the banger, kind of like a Marcus Morris, but another kind of Marcus Morris player, but I don't think he's that for them. But yeah, I think this team can make a deep run.
Yeah, I believe so too.
So the Lakers, they had an interesting week. They lost to the Clippers. They beat the Raptors, and then they lost to the Heat, unfortunately. And the Heat game, that was a great game, in my opinion, for the Lakers. No Kuz, no THT, no Braun, no AD, and you lose by 8 points to the fully healthy Miami Heat.
6 points.
6 points, not 8. 6 points.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that was with a Dennis Schroeder awful game. Horrendous game from Schroeder. KCP, that was the best game I've seen in a long time from him. Drummond, I love what I saw from him. The turnovers were bad, but yeah, I know you guys talked about it on your podcast, so I don't really want to be too repetitive for you guys. But yeah, did you take away anything from this game?
Well, not a horrible game for Schroeder. Yeah, 2 for 12 is not good. 0 for 4
Well,
for
it was
3.
the turnovers.
But yeah, how many turnovers did he have? 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So he did still have a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio though, and without a lot of the playmakers, it seemed like he was forcing it a little bit, just because it seemed like the ball would die unless he was making a lot of decisions. So he kind of forced it, and that's where I kind of saw it go. Great game for KCP, 28. And then, just a lot of contributions everywhere. When did Trez get thrown at this game? Or is that the Raptors?
No, that was the Raptors game. That was the Raptors game.
So he played this whole game? Okay.
Yeah, he played the whole game. We're going to talk about that Raptors game. So I'm actually going to, for you viewers on YouTube, I'm going to share it so you can kind of watch what happened. Just so if you haven't seen it, you can understand what's going on. Let me see. Screen share. Chrome tab. Okay. All right. Share it. All right. You see it, Lehman?
Here we are. I see it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So here's the scuffle between the Raptors and the Lakers.
They say play on, length of the court, and that's a foul. Oh, whoa. That should be a whoa, look out. That was OG. And that is a wrestling move, taking down Schroeder.
Schroeder was holding him up, and I don't know what he was thinking. He actually almost ended up body slamming Schroeder.
Okay. So that's what happened. So before we get into the scuffle itself, because I had issues with the punishments that we're giving out. So here were the punishments that were given out. Taylor Horton Tucker, Fred VanVleet, and DeAndre Bembry were all suspended 1 game for coming off of the bench and onto the court. OG Anunoby was fined $30,000, and Trez was fined $20,000. So my issue was with OG. He got the same thing as he got $10,000 more than Trez. But that move, okay, Schroeder was helping him not fall, and he kind of picks him up by the leg and just flips him. And like, you cannot say that was not intentional. That was, I mean, he grabbed him by the leg and flipped him up. So I thought he should have been suspended a game or 2. And then on Taylor Horton Tucker's side, yes, he went onto the court, but there's a background video shot of him. He took 2 steps, and according to Vogel, he said he wanted him to check in. I don't understand what happened there, and like he wasn't near the scuffle. You don't even see him in there. He was like at the scores table, and he got suspended a game for coming onto the court. VanVleet and Bembry, they were a part of the scuffle, so those made sense. But THT didn't make a lot of sense, and then OG not getting suspended. I just want to get your thoughts on kind of what happened, the brawl or scuffle, what happened there.
So the leave the bench rule is kind of outdated. They kind of overcorrected after the whole Ron Artest mouse at the Palace, and that was necessary. But the first time we kind of saw it not work was when in the Spurs and Suns series, way back in the day, when Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire got a game suspended for taking a step off after Steve Nash was body checked by Robert Horry. And I mean, your first reaction is to, I got to go help my guy. As long as you don't join the scuffle, I feel like it's okay. You can fine him, sure, because it's a rule. But like, you step on the court, and then maybe he was going to check in, maybe he wasn't. By the way, they're like brawling, and you see THC just looking there, holding the towel. I'm like, he's not going to join it.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, and then I'll even defend Fred VanVleet on this point.
Yeah, I was going to do that. Fred was kind of the same way.
Well, so yeah, he kind of came into the scuffle, but he wasn't going in there to start shit. He was going there to get OG and Trent to chill the fuck out, because I don't know what Gary Trent's problem was. He was barking at Trez.
Gary Trent was almost, I think he was trying to prove, he's like, oh, I'm on a new team, I got my boys. But like, OG was in the wrong. OG got in his feelings. We don't got to talk about that. He did not get the punishment he needed. He basically, he didn't body slam him like Stu Lance was talking about. But he did, Schroeder was holding him. And like, when you're a guy, you're smaller and you're holding a bigger guy, you got to hold on a little longer because like you're not as strong as him. It's a big body.
Yeah.
So he was holding there. She was about to get up, and they just flipped his foot up. I was like, he's just in his feelings in that point. And yeah, Gary Trent was like pushing everywhere. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, the looks, the bark, like the looks and the shouting he was doing. I was like, dude, like what? Okay, first of all, no one even touched you, my guy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. Trez is fine, whatever. He was a part of it.
Trez deserved to be ejected. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was okay with,
did Gary Trent get ejected that game? Okay. See ya.
No, Trent didn't get ejected.
Really?
It was only OG. Only
OG Trent and Trent should have been ejected.
I think Trent should have been ejected as well. I mean, if Trez was ejected for shouting, Trent definitely should have been ejected for shouting.
Trez did come in there looking to fight. Like, we got to put that out there. He was looking NBA fight, that is. No fists, but shoving, NBA fighting until the rest break it up.
And I mean, they kind of said on the Lakers broadcast later, it's the third person that is always going to be ejected, basically. And Trez and Trent were the third men in. It was more Trez before Trent. But so I understood Trez getting ejected. That's fine. But I also understand what he's doing. I mean, he sees his point guard get flipped upside down. I'm going to run in there, and I'm going to tell OG, like, hey, you need to cut that shit out right now. So I was okay with him being ejected because it was deserving, but at the same point, like, it was like, all right, you're standing up for your boy. Good for you. I'm cool with that. But yeah, OG definitely should have been suspended because like that wasn't even remotely accidental. Like if it was accidental, he would have like let go.
Yeah. I mean, he flipped him, man. He flipped him.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about the scuffle just because the Lakers, I mean, they used to be involved in a lot of scuffles when they were a crappy team, but like ever since LeBron got there, it's kind of like calmed down. I mean, there was that one Rockets one, which that was, dude, Nipsey
LeBron's
Hussle.
second game.
Bro, Nipsey Hussle was ready to fight the Rockets. That was amazing.
The only real Lakers one I remember in the last years is when like Lonzo walked away from like his teammates literally brawling, and they were like, "Oh, he doesn't care about his teammates." They were freaking out because that was when Lonzo's playing for the Lakers. There was some slander going on there, but
yeah, and I Nick Young got into some stuff, and I would before.
He got into a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, okay, well, brawls. I mean, he got into that.
Amber Rose, honestly.
He never misses an opportunity, guys. He never misses an opportunity. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that little scuffle that happened because it was interesting the way the NBA handled the situation.
Yeah.
But next, the Charlotte Hornets. Do you understand this team? No Gordon Hayward, no LaMelo Ball, no problems. 6-4 in their last 10, and still holding. I think it's the 5 seed in the East. 4 or 5.
I'll check for you.
As I say, I can look.
4 seed, yeah.
The 4 seed in the East. I mean, the record isn't amazing, but it's still the 4 seed in the East.
Yeah. I mean, it is the East, though, so you got to give that kind of thing there.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, how is Charlotte winning without, really, their 2 best players?
It's all schedule. If you really look at it, they beat San Antonio barely. Then they beat Houston, easy W. Impressive game against the Heat, but Heat are kind of very wishy-washy. Catch an L to Phoenix. Beat Washington, a pretty easy team to beat, even though I'm a big Russ guy. Lose to Brooklyn, and then beat the Pacers, lost to Boston, beat OKC. It's not a lot of great wins there, and not a lot of. They're just winning the games they're supposed to. And they're losing the games that they're not supposed to win. So I think they've been very like Terry Rozier is their most consistent player, and he's been playing very well for them. But this game against the Thunder, not a whole lot need to happen for them to get this W. They're also playing PG Washington at the center when Gordon Hayward's not playing, and they can do that against most teams in the league because they go small.
Yeah. So right now, if the playoffs started today, it'd be Hornets and Hawks in a series, with Hornets having home court. Like, that's an interesting series to me because they are 2 similar teams, in my opinion. Lots of young talent, lots of 3 balls going up, diddly-dees all over the place. I think that'd be a great series.
I think it would be too, and the Hawks have been number 3 in defensive efficiency since the 1st of March, since Nate McMillan got hired. Wow. So it kind of be a clash of styles, especially if we get LaMelo back. It'll be so much fun to see LaMelo and Trae Young. No defense played for either of them, just passes everywhere. That'd be so much fun.
I'm telling you right now, LaMelo's coming back from the playoffs. I saw that video where he was getting antsy while having that cast on, and then yesterday he was putting work in with his cast. He will be back for the playoffs.
And then Hayward is back, and I believe it's down to 3 weeks now because it was a week ago. So you carry the 6, you get all that. So 3 weeks until Hayward's back.
So he's going to get like 2 or 3 games. He's going to get the last couple of games in, basically, because there's a month, 5 weeks left in the season, basically. So he's going to get a few games in there. LaMelo will be back for the playoffs. He's too antsy. I mean, whether it's a good or bad decision, he's going to be back, and I'm excited for that.
I want to say I would take the Hornets in it, but then I look at the coaching staff for Atlanta, and Nate McMillan knows how to win and not win in the playoffs, but get out of the first round in the playoffs. And then Charlotte kind of has not a rookie head coach, very young head coach. So I think the lights might get a little too bright for them. But I think that goes 6. I don't think Charlotte's any pushover if they're playing Atlanta. If they play anyone else really, like Boston or Miami, I don't think they win a lot of games. But I think the Hawks are a good matchup for them.
Okay, yeah, I would be intrigued by those games. Those better not be the 10 a.m. games. Those better be. I'm not joking. They will put LaMelo on primetime just because it's LaMelo. And I'm okay with that because he's fun to watch. And it's not. And he's a good basketball player in my opinion. The shooting issues seem to be getting better, but I think people really didn't realize how much of a playmaker he was.
It's that confidence he has. Like if you believe you're the best in your draft class, you will be the best in your draft class when you have that raw talent.
So quickly, just real quick before we move on, Rookie of the Year, Ant or LaMelo? I know
Probably
it's really
Ant.
tough.
Probably Ant.
Okay.
It was looking like Halliburton was going to make a nice push, but then the Kings lost 5 in a row, so he's out of it now. I think Ant has now about 15 games up on LaMelo played. It's going to be tough to come back from if it's Melo. Melo was the runaway favorite
Until he got hurt.
Until he got hurt. And he was my pick, and I was looking like a smart guy. But yeah, it's looking like Ant just Ant's putting up numbers.
Good. And I mean, if Ant was putting up what he was putting up when LaMelo was playing, I don't think he's Rookie of the Year. But it's because he's elevated to the next step, which is good for Minnesota.
Because everyone shifted their focus to Ant, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's good." So that when they had LaMelo for the first 40 games, and Ant didn't play well, then from 41 on, Melo was hurt and Ant was playing well. So perfect timing.
Yeah. Moving to the West, where we got a good playoff spot. I think this playoff spot is open. Kind of is the 10 seed. So as you know, there's going to be the play-in games between 7, 8, 9, and 10 to get into the playoffs. So the Warriors currently hold the 10 seed. 2 games back of them is the New Orleans Pelicans. 2.5 games back is the Sacramento Kings. Both teams have struggled lately. I believe both of them are 5-5 in their last 10, with Sacramento on a 5-game losing streak, Pelicans on a 2-game losing streak, and the Warriors are 3-7 in their last 10. So it seems like they're all trying to not get the 10 seed. But if I had to ask you today, out of all those teams, who's getting the 10 seed?
I think it has to be the Warriors, just because someone has to take it from them, and no team's going to take it from them because they all suck. And if I had to pick one team to catch them, it'd be the Kings because they're going to die on this rock. But I mean, they're due for a 5-game win streak now because they're on a 5-game losing streak. So the Pelicans aren't consistent enough to get that 10 seed. Sacramento's proven they can rattle off multiple games winning in a row, and they're also healthy, contrary to the Pelicans.
Okay. I would agree with you. I think it is the Warriors. I think that is the team that's going to be in. If I would love to see the Kings. I know you're a big Kings guy. Luke Walton should have been fired a while ago, but that's fine.
That guy.
Yeah, we do. We hate Luke Walton here. But I think it would be. I hope the Warriors get in and we get Steph in the playoffs, or at least in the play-in. But I think it's just they all suck right now.
Do you think if the Warriors play, can they get a game on Dallas? Because the way play-in works, 17 needs to win 1, 10 needs to win 2. Do you think it's a one and done?
I think the Warriors might be able to sneak a win. I don't think they can beat the Mavs. The way, and we won't get into this, but like the way Steve Kerr coaches and the way he's using Wiseman, we could do a whole pod on Steve Kerr and his fuck ups, but
he likes losing seasons more than championship ones.
Apparently so. We got to talk about this. Draymond was on Kevin Durant's podcast, and he had a lot of interesting things to say. You guys covered most of it. There's one thing you didn't cover, so I'm going to cover it here, and then you guys go listen or watch 2.5 Hoopers, and you'll hear the rest of it. But he said the NBA is softer than it was 10 years ago, which, okay, yes, but the way he said it was like he played 25 years ago, and he played with. It's like, dude. Okay, I'm no joke. I think today Dennis Rodman would fuck Draymond up. I personally, because Dennis, So I don't think. I mean, Draymond.
Well, he did say 10 years ago, right? Just so we get the quote right.
10 years ago.
Okay, so 2011. Okay.
Okay, Okay, and when did he come into the league?
He was drafted in 13. Started playing meaningful minutes in about 14-15 season.
Okay, so So when he says that, I think he attributes to himself as well. After they blew the 3-1 lead, he was in his car recruiting Kevin Durant. Please tell me how that is not a soft move. Please explain, Draymond. And then I don't want to say the part where he's crying because like I guess that part no one will really know besides him. But he was definitely in his car calling KD because you guys talked about it. The way he responded, "You can believe whatever you want." That's yeah, I was. In translation, that's yes. But yeah, and then so it's like, and on top of that, you're with Kevin Durant, who is known to be a soft player as well. Like and Draymond always talks. He loves when someone says something about him. He loves to chirp back. He always needs the eyes on him. It needs to be the spotlight on Draymond. But like, I don't know. Just like, what are your thoughts on him saying this?
I mean, I guess you could say he thinks the refs are soft because he has had a few seasons where he goes over the technical foul limit. But as far as NBA, I think he's gotten the most flopping fines in the past 5 years as any player. Okay. So as far as playing wise, yeah, I think he's out of pocket for that one.
So he went on to say this. Sorry, because so it kind of attributes because you said the refs. He said, "Young guys today come into the NBA and want to be your friends. I don't want to be your friend." So he's talking about the players, obviously, and it's like, dude, you were the biggest recruiter for Kevin Durant. You wanted to be BFFs with him.
Kyrie Irving went to Steph Curry's birthday party or wedding or something when they played 3 finals in a row together against each other. And like I just don't understand why guys get so like upset when like on the court. John Morant doesn't like anyone. Like he hates everyone he's playing against, but he shows respect off the court.
Off the court, yeah, he loves everyone.
And like Draymond is buddy with LeBron. They played 4 finals in a row, and LeBron's buddy with everyone. He wants to be everyone's friend. He doesn't want any negative press towards him. That's a whole different discussion as far as LeBron getting attention, stuff like that. But he's kind of shooting his own friend in the foot. And then KD, KD blew a 3-1 lead to Draymond. And then he joins Draymond, Steph and Clay, really, but he joins Draymond, and like it's just really weird where it's coming from. Like if Dame said this, I'm cool with it because Dame don't like no one. Dame
if Jaw said that, that's fine because he's Jaw. Shoot, I don't think because I can. Let me see if I sign into my Twitter or not. Okay. Oh, just for my password. Okay. Yeah. So I watch. Because I know Lehman, you watch Colin Cowherd a lot.
Colin was right.
Where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong every Monday. So, do you watch Speak for Yourself?
Not as often.
Okay.
I'm a first things first guy, Undisputed, and Colin Cowherd.
Hey, I remember my password. Okay, so Speak for Yourself is a Emmanuel Acho. He has a great book called Uncomfortable Conversations with the Black Man. Anyways, he is on Speak for Yourself, and I'm pulling up the tweet right now. Sorry. Emmanuel Acho. Where is he? I follow him, but for some reason my Twitter followers just don't want to show up, which is cool.
What kind of phone you get?
The iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Oh, beauty! That podcast money kicking in. Sheesh.
Woo! I also got trade-in money for my phone. Okay, that's really cool. I guess I got to scroll down my Twitter feed to find it now. Wow, this is fun. But anyways, he had something to say on this, and I just want to get your thoughts if you agree or disagree. Yes, I understand Zach LaVine had 39 points and a half. Holy cow.
Quite impressive, though.
It was quite impressive, but that's all I'm seeing on my Twitter feed from George to Costa to the NBA, everyone. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, you got to block those guys.
Uh-oh, George, you're going to make George mad. You're going to make him mad. Okay, this is really...
I forgot George runs our Twitter account. He shouted out Zach LaVine to our 3 followers on Twitter. Thank God.
He also shouted himself and Josh Rhodes out for calling him number 1. But I mean, you do you, I guess. Okay. All right. I guess Twitter's just gonna be a butthole and be like, no, you're not gonna find this quote. Let me try refreshing and see if it pops up. If it doesn't, it's fine. It's not.
If not, you just tell me that. Oh,
Woo! We got it. Okay. Emmanuel Acho said this. just because you talk noise don't make you hard, and just because you don't talk noise don't make you soft. The reason Draymond is even that relevant is because two dudes, Steph and Clay, who don't even talk.
Yeah. It all knows.
Yep. Oh, you're frozen, Jacob.
I'm frozen?
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, now you're frozen again.
so you can't hear me.
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, what? I don't know how much you heard. I agree with the quote. 100%.
Okay, simple as that. Moving on. So to end off today's episode, we are going to name our top 5 basketball movies. This is something fun I wanted to do just because. And so to get the preference, movies we've watched. So like if there's a great movie you haven't watched and it's on your list, like we don't need the hate coming in. Just say you haven't watched the movie before. So top 5 favorite basketball movies. Jacob, you want to start off your list?
So do you want me to name my 5 and you name your 5? Or I name my whole 5?
You can name your name your whole 5.
Okay. So at number 5, 17 again. It's a basketball movie. It really is. It's very themed.
It is. I love 17 again. I love because it's got Matthew Perry, aka Chandler from Friends, and then Zac Efron. And I love Zac Efron. I think a lot of people know that, but that is a great I didn't put it in because I wasn't sure how basketball it is basketball, but at the same time, okay. But I respect that being on your list. Okay.
Number 4. This is tough. Okay.
It's hard.
I'm gonna go semi-pro with Will Ferrell.
Yes. Okay. That's a good one.
Number 3, Space Jam. Might be a little low on some people's lists, but it's number 3. Number 2, White Man Can't Jump.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have so similar lists, man.
I wonder if we have the same number 1. Number 1, Thunderstruck with Kevin Durant.
Oh no, Lehman.
Yes, sir.
Thunderstruck is not the move for me.
Oh, get out of here!
I'm sorry, that's just me. I know.
So let me guess, you have Coach Carter 1.
No, I've never seen Coach Carter.
Okay. Because I haven't seen it either, so I couldn't put it on.
Exactly. Everyone, like, I was looking at other lists, and that is number 1 on every list. I haven't watched Coach Carter, so that won't be on my list either. So, wow, that was okay. Number 5 for me is Glory Road. It's on Disney Plus. It is about a white head coach coaching an all-black basketball team to make the NCAA tournament. I won't give a spoiler, but it's a Disney movie, so we know how it ends. But it's a great movie. Like, it's a really good movie, especially with everything going on today. It's a great movie. I love it. I've watched it multiple times. Glory Road, number 5. Number 4. Sorry, where did my list go? Semi-pro. That was a similarity right there. Mm-hmm. Number 4 was Semi-pro. Number 3, Space Jam. I'm with you on Space Jam. Number 3. Number 2, White Men Can't Jump.
I think I know your first because I snubbed one and I'm upset. I forgot about this movie.
Okay, my number 1 is Hoosiers.
Oh, okay. I snubbed Like Mike. I forgot about Like Mike.
It's not like, I don't know. It's more of a nostalgia.
If you have me on again, it would be in my top 5 again, but no need to revise it right now.
Okay, we don't need to be like a George on the small forwards and revise it.
That guy, oh my gosh! I know it was late, but he started becoming. You got to be a leader, not a follower, George. I say it all the time.
But so yeah, number 1 for me, Hoosiers. Have you seen Hoosiers?
I haven't, which is kind of like a cardinal sin, honestly. But
okay, all right, well, okay, but I just want to know because if you had seen it and it's not in your top 5, then we got issues. But it's all good. You haven't seen it yet. We both haven't watched Coach Carter. We haven't. Have you watched He Got Game?
Bits and pieces, but it was rated R when I found it, so I couldn't watch it.
Fair enough.
Have you seen Celtic Pride?
No, I saw that on a lot of lists.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's probably 6 for me, but I want to put 17 again in there just for giggles because Zac
Okay.
Efron.
Yes, I love. Yeah. Did you watch? Sorry, now we're just gonna get into basketball movies. Have you seen Just Right?
No, never even heard of it.
It came out in 2010. It's a physical therapist lands a dream job of working with basketball star played by Common. All went well until Lisa finds out she's falling in love with him. Scott, however, is oblivious to Leslie's romantic gestures and focuses his attention on a different girl, Leslie's gorgeous friend, who would love to be the basketball player's trophy wife. Leslie is played by Queen Latifah, and Common is the main actor. So,
Sheesh.
that's a cast right there. Okay, my dad's out here screaming a baseball movie to me. That's for the next podcast, though. Thank you. And that is in my top 5 baseball movies.
Have you seen? I did not hear him. Did he say Rookie of the Year? That's my favorite baseball movie.
Oh my god, Jesus! Major League's my favorite baseball movie. Bull Durham.
What about basketball?
I almost put that in my top 5 for this. Have you? Okay, that movie is hilarious. If you need a stupid ass movie that you just want to laugh, semi-pro basketball.
Okay, 2 more things, and we'll wrap up the movie talk. Baseball, bench warmers is my second favorite. I don't know if that counts, but they play it's baseball. It's not MLB.
Bench warmers is baseball.
And then, did you ever see Luck of the Irish on Disney Channel?
Yes,
it's a basketball movie.
Yes, I did.
I made sure I got the name right. I forgot about that movie.
It's low key fire. It's a low.
53% on Rotten Tomato.
Alyssa's over here praising that movie, so she obviously likes it. My dad wants to know about the Little League baseball team that won the World Series from Mexico. It was The Perfect Game. That's what the movie's called. Anyways, baseball movies is for next podcast, but apparently it's going to be this podcast too.
For some reason, I know baseball movies.
Dude, baseball movies are legit.
I can name more baseball movies than I can baseball teams.
Oh, Lehman. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. I wanted to end off on a fun note with movies, and I think that was a good way to end the episode. But yeah, uncovering this week of NBA talk. Jacob, I'm sure my people know because George is on here all the time, but where can we find your podcast, Lehman?
Well, George can never do anything right, so I guess I'll try my best. But TH Hoopers, Spotify, everywhere, Apple Music. We're uploading on YouTube now. We don't look the best, but we're uploading on YouTube now. Maybe start a TikTok. Who knows if things go good. But yeah, at TH Hoopers, Instagram and Twitter, we'll definitely get some interaction going there.
Alrighty, and you can find me, J_sports_podcast. And until next time, this has been Joshua Nowakowski, the J Sports Podcast.